I'd like to call the Derry Conservation Commission meeting to order. We'll start by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In case of an emergency, don't use the elevator. Use the emergency exits. There's one located in the back of the property, the back of the room, and one to my right. Anyone in attendance, please silence your cell phones. And our first order of business is approval of minutes from our January 13th meeting. If everyone's looked at them, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes.
We have a first by Mr. Metz, second by Mr. Spurl. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Chair's report. We have quite a bit of correspondence. I'll run through them. They're here to my right. I can hand them to my right and left. First one is a standard dredge and fill for 23 Taylor Brook Lane. This is, we've seen this project before. This is the actual application to my right. Second one is the annual maintenance report by Apex for the Walmart super store up on Ashley Drive. And I want to comment on how well done this report is. We should look at the covenants when we approve that project and see how this became to being and use it as a model for other projects, because the report is elaborate and very well done. It's done by Apex Companies out of Rockville, Maryland. The next correspondence we have is a minor impact wetland permit application for 71 Birch Street LLC. That's the project that we walked on 2 occasions up at is that Chutes Corner, Rick? Is that what they call that?
Yeah, Chutes Corner.
Chutes Corner. It's the previous location of the Chutes. It was like a convenience store or something like that, and future location of Derry Plumbing and Heating. It's up on the hill. We've walked it a number of occasions. And this is the actual permit application, and I'm going to pass that to my left. The next one is a standard dredge and fill wetland permit application. This is for the Como project. It's a dock reconstruction on Big Island Pond. We reviewed this application 2 meetings ago, and this is the actual wetlands permit application. That's going to my left. And the last one is a new application for a dock restoration on Weston Road. I have not reviewed it yet. I intend to over the next day or two. It's Derry Tax Map 17, Tax Lot 6-23, number 10 Weston Street. And it's the reconstruction of a reconstruction and repair of a dock with no additional square footage or size. So it's basically just a permit to fix a dock in place. We normally do not do site walks on those if we look at the plans and don't see any irregularities. So I'll pass that to my right. And that's all we have for correspondence. As far as conservation activities, other than numerous discussions that I've had and the vice chair has had with a number of people that we met with at town hall today, there's nothing that's actually happening on the ground with the conservation activities. That's going to happen soon. with the with our new part-time conservation land manager. And in other business, we have quite a bit. Other business, we'll start out with some committee reports. I'm going to handle most of them. So personnel, Rick, Mr. Metz and I conducted our final interviews today for our land manager position, and we've decided to make an offer to a candidate. You know, it's remarkable the quality of applicants that we had in that process. We had, you know, really, we could have hired probably half of the candidates that applied for the job, really high-quality candidates. I'm sure many of them could do the job, but there's definitely one that stands out for us, and we're going to be making an offer. We're going to be making that person an offer sometime this week. We're working with Catherine St. Ledger in the HR department. Another personnel issue is that our secretary, Paul Dion, has decided that he no longer wants to participate in the Conservation Commission, and he's filed a resignation with our council liaison, Mr. Foote. Paul, myself, and Rick had a robust discussion on his leaving, and as much as I urged him to stay on the commission, he decided it wasn't working for him anymore. So I have reached out to James Hayden, our council alternate, and he is considering moving up from an alternate to a full member. And Mr. Metz and I had a Q&A with another prospective commissioner today at Town Hall, and he's going to be considering joining our commission. Now, one of the discussions we had with the applicant that we were going to make a job offer to, our only real shortfall with the applicant was the ability of the person to take over the public gardens with pretty good certainty. So I did reach out to Will Lowenthal today and spoke with him at depth about if he would be willing to mentor the applicant in the public gardens, and he agreed to. So that's going to be a big plus for us. So once we get once we onboard the land manager, that person's going to meet with Mr. Lowenthal, and Mr. Lowenthal is going to actually guide the applicant in the process. So that's going to be a big help for us. Lastly, we have I spoke to our council liaison today about our intention of hiring the land manager, and he assured me that he was going to mentor the person, also get him or her in touch with all the town departments that she's going to be interacting with, and he'd walk her kind of through the process of meeting everybody and making the transition as smooth as possible. I wanted Charlie to report out on something we were working on with the fire department, but it looks like he's not going to make it tonight. In a previous meeting, we talked about the risk of fire in our conservation properties and try to mitigate that risk. So in discussions with the chief, the fire chief, he's given us a resource that the state, actually, Bob, you might even know this, so the state just hired only one risk manager specifically for fire risk, and he's trying to go from community to community and establish a process in which to survey properties and do risk analysis. So the fire chief gave me his name and asked me to reach out to him, and I'm probably going to have Councilor Foote head up that for us, because Councilor Foote speaks firefighter. So I think it would be the natural choice. So we're gonna go down that road, work with the state folks, and if they're too busy, we might do something else. But we're gonna at least start out with the state liaison. And that's all I have. So if anyone has anything to report, chime in. And we are going to have a brief non-public tonight. So if anyone has anything to add, Bob, Rick.
As far as getting in touch with the IT department, I left an email for Doug Rathburn last week, but I guess I'll have to try either stopping in the office or contacting somebody else. The website is friendly, but I'd like to make it a little more user-friendly with updated maps and maybe a click-to on the front page. So hopefully those changes will be forthcoming. And all the land management people that we did interview are pretty savvy with, I'm a lot more savvy than I am, with technology. So I'm going to welcome their input when they get hired and get their feet wet and come on board. And I mentioned it in all the interviews that that's what I'd like to do, and they all agreed. So that's, as far as that goes, that's what we're doing with public outreach.
All right, if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to go into non-public.
Move to go into non-public per section RSA 91A, paragraph 3, section 2, to discuss land acquisition.
So we have a first to go into non-public. Do I have a second? Second by both Bobs. We need to do a roll call vote to go into non-public, so I'll start to my right.
Yes.
Yes. So we are officially in non-public once DTV lets us know that we're off the